Genshin Impact has a lot of things, and as someone who happens to touch more grass on Tevat than I do here on Earth, to the dismay of my own well-being, though this also means that I have acquired a lot of knowledge about this game. One might even say a bit too much knowledge. So in an attempt of coping with this situation, yeah, let's go with that, I thought, why not make a video about it? But enough about me and my severe lack of vitamin C, and let's get started with the video. Depending on your traveler's gender, their stats will be slightly different. For Lumine actually has slightly higher scaling on her charge attack compared to her sibling, whilst Ether on the other hand does not in fact have a higher base defense stat, as some have claimed. A shame, I know, but alas, Lumine is just built different, I guess. After completing the Luna 4 main story quest, the moon will change, both in the actual game itself, but also during the login screen at night, which is how I noticed it, since I have insomnia. Help. Speaking of the login screen, the music that plays whilst you sit there staring at the login screen, hoping for the game to have finally finished loading, is called Dream Aria, being named after this absolute gilf right here. Throughout the years, Genshin has released a lot of characters, over 100 characters to be exact, with the 100th character actually being Kirk. I mean Skirk. The 100th character was Skirk. My girl Skirk. It was Skirk. Easteroth and Venti are actually voiced by the same person in every language. Something that also happens to mean that this voice is actually coming from a late 30s something Japanese guy. Skirk and the Surprise Baptism Twink were the first two characters to have this upgraded hair tech. Certain characters actually get additional VFX when you acquire their constellations. For example, Columbina gets a new moon. I hate English. Columbina gets a new moon for every constellation that you have on her, whilst Arlecchino, on the other hand, gets this little cute flame chicken wing looking thing. Escoffier's thigh highs are very detailed. The angel share has multiple entrances, which are probably for Varka to better sneak in and out through as to better avoid Jean. I wonder what this tree reminds me of.
Are you satisfied, Ishtar?
Oh. If you were to, perchance, try and attack a cat for some reason, by accident of course, you'd also know that they can't be killed, thanks to them being able to move like Neo for some reason. Oh, and also, please don't ask me how I know, okay? It was a mistake, I promise. This is an oculus. These are oculi. Now, if you wish to learn more English grammar from a non-native speaker, please feel free to PayPal me $30,000. I know that nobody asked, but this is the enemy that I've killed the most amount of times in the game. The second act of the Inazuma Archon quest will take roughly 30 minutes on average to finish, which, if you didn't know, is actually a small reference to the fact that the Inazuma Archon quest was complete and utter dogshit. Genshin Impact doesn't have any KPI targets, which probably explains why TCG still sees updates, but more importantly, why Genshin most likely hasn't had any spending events yet. Something that I really hope continue to be the case, knock on wood. When you're dolphin jumping with Furina, you can actually see a rainbow-esque effect trailing behind her, which isn't the case for any other character in the game, even Dragon Daddy himself. Yu Pengchen, the founding father of Genshin Impact's music and the game's former lead composer, is also the vocalist for Polymnia Omnia, aka the Scaramouche boss theme. Alice once destroyed Stormterror's lair because it, quote-unquote, didn't look old enough. Girl's crazy. Right before teleporting, Abyss mages, for a split second, will remove their masks, revealing that they ain't got any faces, which is actually low-key fucking terrifying. Goro is the only character from Inazuma with a passive that can help in finding local specialties easier. No wonder those bugs were such a nightmare to farm. Unlike literally every other character in the game, Columbina's constellations doesn't have stars, but instead different moon phases, which is pretty neat. This is the only cat boy in the game. I guess Cat Ankh would be more accurate, actually. Speaking of cat people, no, Keqing is still not a freaking cat. She just looks like one. She's a fake cat girl. A catfishing cat girl, I guess, yeah. There is nothing here besides this lamp. These weird creatures, I forgot what they're called, from the second Nahida story quest can be found here. Chillin'. You know, as they say, just a bunch of shrooms being dudes. Nobody says that. Within the chasm, there's actually a secret entrance leading to Sumeru, which you can enter by climbing this tree. Because why not, I guess. Whilst on the topic of scary, uncomfortable, claustrophobic underground places, the Chasm Underground map is actually not positioned in accordance with the overworld map. And why, you might ask? I don't know. The Fire Thief's secret island isn't actually all that secret, since, if you can't tell, it's clearly visible on the map. Kea is technically a jobless bum, since he's the cavalry captain of the Knights of Favonius. But here's the thing, as most of you are probably aware of, there are no horses in Tevat. Never mind then, I stand corrected. There's a dog named Baguette in Fontaine. Don't let Verasa see it, she might actually think that it's a real baguette and therefore might consume it. Skirk, has a fin on her back, which might insinuate that one of her ancestors couldn't resist sticking it in the Fishusi, if you catch my drift. Tartaglia is currently the 11th of the 4 active Harbingers. Jesus Christ, talk about disrespect. The road network between Mondstadt City and the fuck-off massive Hilichurl camp is, for some unhinged reason, better than the road network between most nations. Long, long ago, there was a time when our resident goat, Lieben himself, was actually voiced.
The Qixing are the 7 greatest merchants in Liyue, who govern over everything to do with our economy. So it goes.
Yes, there was a time when we were not only blessed by Lieben's generous Primogem handouts, but also blessed by his smooth, sultry, buttery voice. Right, anyway, did you know that every day you can get a handful of crystal flies from this spot right here? Not sure how many, but should be a bit more than enough for your daily resin. Which is kinda based. In Stormterror's lair you can find this random-ass cave that has about as much going on in it like that of the average gacha game player's brain. What? You know I'm right. There is this island out from the coast of Liyue that has a precious chest on it. Though to my knowledge, no Genshin player has ever been able to open the chest, since it requires you having a friend. According to this domain, Inazuma in the past has been flooded, which, now that I think about it, probably explains all these submerged ruins all over the place. In Genshin's early days, back when MiHoYo didn't really know what the fuck they were doing, which, let's just say, ended up leading to some weird design decisions, like some of the game's earliest events for some godforsaken reason costing resin. Yes, you heard that right. Those were dark times indeed. Everyone's favorite resident midget, that of course being Xiao, has the worst constellation in the entire game. He's the DPS, but his 4th constellation gives him more defense.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
What I'm about to say is gonna sound crazy, but did you know that Sumeru is the nation with the most Aranara? Yeah, I know. Insane. Flora. No, not that Flora. This one. back in the beta, wasn't actually a child, but a young pretty lady instead. And this dude, right here, was in love with that Flora. But come the official launch of the game, that Flora no longer exists. Instead, there's the Flora we all know now. But here's the thing. Who forgot to change our poor guy's voice lines about Flora? Well, either that or they were trying to preemptively warn us about Diddy.
Diddy, come on out!
Regardless though, eventually Hoyo decided to adjust the voice lines, and now, what was once an average Discord moderator relationship in the making is now a story about a brother and their little sister going on a boat trip. Liyue Harbor isn't actually the original capital of, well, Liyue. It's actually this place called Guili Assembly, which, because of reasons, isn't around anymore. Yeah, bad stuff happened. Did you know that Guoba used to be a panda? Well, now you do. Vorka is not only the first character to not only dual-wield claymores, but also the first character to triple-wield claymores. Yeah. Certain weapons get slightly altered visually when refined. The female vocalist for the second Kaguya-sama opening, you know, the do-do-do-do-do song, is the same vocalist for the Skark cinematic short. These are dead people. No, I won't elaborate. The most viewed Genshin live symphony in China is the Natland live symphony. Baiju was the first character in the game with a Dendrovision, revealed all the way back in 1.0. And when he eventually, like 3 years later, released, he even got an updated model. The cow's normal running speed is faster than that of other characters sharing her model, though on the other hand she also depletes her stamina faster. The Genshin Impact announcement trailer dropped on June 8, 2019. The lamp on the boat works. I repeat, the lamp on the boat works. Many of the Chinese voice actors voices multiple characters in the game. Skirk's CNVA, for example, voices 3 characters. Fontaine means fountain in French. Poisson means fish. And people dare to claim that MiHoYo doesn't have a way with words. Calling Al-Haytham, quote-unquote Al, would be the equivalent of literally calling him the, if we were to translate from Arabic to English. Another name for Easteroth is Kairos. This tiny lake in Mondstadt is almost a perfect circle. Here you can find an eroded hoe, with another one that can be found if you were to look in the mirror. Doing whatever this is actually the fastest way of traveling using Mauika. This instrument used in the Nordcry live symphony is called a nyckelharpa. Genshin Impact was made by a company whose name literally references Hatsune Miku. The Chinese name for Genshin is Yuanshen, which consists of the characters Yuan and Shen, having the meaning of original and god respectively. Said character's pronunciation in Japanese is Gen and Shin, hence the name Genshin, which actually means primordial god. And also, yes, the impact is just there, because what does he even do? This is a common chest. Arlecchino is canonically a zoomer. At C6R5, Nefer's premium team has the highest DPS out of any team in the game. At the Nothing passage, there's actually not nothing, but instead not nothing. Or I guess you could also say there's something. You can actually hear galloping when sprinting with Tsubai. Guys, is it only me or do Chenyi Vale be looking rather sus right now?
Amogus.